A traditional pantomime horse race that is out on the track. If you're looking up towards the stand, it's behind you. The runners are lining up for the pantomime horse race. Number 1 is Bridal Gem. Give us a wave if you can help you who you are. Number 2 is Surrey Nagvertiser. 3 is Snowy, that's the white pantomime horse. 4, Bertie Bear, who appears to be solo. There are a few who are solo. Number 5 is Wings. It's the pantomime horse in the yellow. 6, a Disenchantress Recoil, representing Oasis Childcare. 7, Sparky, for our own Sandown Park, with the green trousers. Number 8 is Kempton Kev, chief market rival. Dabbing. Number 9 is Ellie, for Epsom Downs. Number 10 is Frank. Thanks, Frank. And number 11 is Borrower, representing Elmbridge Borough Council. Frank representing Jockey Club Live. So a chance for them to strut their stuff. I'll leave it to the official starters to give the ready, steady go. But if you are all ready, we're ready up here. And they're off. Bridal Gem on the inside making good progress, and also the Stars and Stripes of Borrower and Snowy as well. But out over on the far side, it appears to be Bridal Gem for Elmbridge Borough Council, I think, with Snowy trying to close. Elmbridge Borough Council's front end's going fast, and his back end who's trying desperately hard to propel him up towards the line. But I think it's Elmbridge Borough Council's Bridal Gem who beats Snowy into second. Third for Borrower. Fourth, best of the horses, was our own Sparky for Sandown Park. Still crossing the line is Kempton Kev. And towards the back we have Bertie Bear, who's last of all. And I'm afraid it's a rather sorry sight really for Wings, who's rather come apart at the seams.
Race of the day is the Longines Irish Champions Weekend EBF Stallions Star Stakes. It's a listed event over 7 furlongs for 2-year-old fillies. We're focusing first on number 7, Royal Park. She's got 2 handlers and she was much improved when winning last time. Yeah,
really like appreciate the step up to today's 7 furlongs when making it all and winning in really good style. Now the time is nothing special, form's not that easy to weigh up and needs improving on, but clearly the trip is a plus.
Different kind of ground for her. Yeah. She's untried on anything other than fast.
Yeah, complete unknown, I agree.
Although there are some thoughts in the pedigree that she might be able to stay at least this far and probably a little bit further. Behind her is a rather smaller model, number 4, and that's Capimento for Tom Dascombe.
Yeah, who made good headway in the second half of the race. Whether it was just stamina kicking in or penny dropping, I don't know. But got on top late on when successful at Ripon. The runner-up went on to finish 12th in a super sprint on Saturday. Again, form needs improving on, but left a good impression.
Stepping up in trip would be fine, you would think?
Yeah, I think it'd be a plus.
Absolutely. Different ground for her as well. Now, behind number 4 is number 5, and that is Elizabeth Bennett. And her best performance came on her penultimate start when winning at the all-weather at Lingfield over 6.
Yeah, won that in, as you say, in good style. And then next time was 5th behind one of today's rivals, So High Society. Didn't get the absolute best of runs. That was at Newmarket. I didn't think she was, to me, an obvious improver for the 7 furlongs. I had my doubts on that.
OK, if anything, I thought it might be her maximum, perhaps, but I thought it might be within her comfort.
That's probably a better way of putting what I was trying to say. I wasn't convinced it would improve her, but I think she might just about get it.
Behind her is number 2, 2 handlers for Richard Hannon's runner Campion, and she ran in that same listed event in which Elizabeth Bennett was 5th. She was 7th.
Yeah, and came 7th. 5 of these horses have got an official race, and she's the lowest, and she's had more runs than most. It remains to be seen if this step up in trip improves her, and I think it needs to.
On the positive side of things, Pat Dobbs said when she went at Bath that fast ground he felt she was a little bit uncomfortable on, so a little bit of cut might help her.
Yeah. Fair enough, it needs to, I think.
There's a gap back to the next horse, but she's walking around by herself and looking very relaxed. That's number 9, to Janus. And she, again, ran in that same Newmarket listed race, and she finished 6th.
Yeah, the Empress Stakes, she was 3 places behind So High Society. Again, she didn't get the absolute clearest of runs, but 4 lengths to find, needs the extra furlong to really, really improve her a lot.
We know that she handles this kind of ground, however. Behind her is number 10, and that's White Fountain Abbey, and her best performance was probably her penultimate start, her win at Fairyhouse over 6. Her first 3 runs have all come for Jessica Harrington. This is her debut for Andrew Balding.
Yeah, we've seen her once in this country. That's when beaten 12.5 lengths in the Albany. That was her last start. First run for Andrew Balding today, upped in trip, needs to improve.
Sheen Murphy about to get on board her. Behind her is number 1, and that's Billison Book, who's shown consistent and pretty good form the last 3 starts.
Yeah, and that's only a maiden she won at Kempton last time, and I know you can't get excited about the form, but something about the way she won that day I really liked. I thought she won in really good style. definitely like the 7 furlongs. It's a class rise, softer ground, all sorts of things, but I wouldn't dismiss her.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that. Behind that is number 3, Kate Bunting, and she's unbeaten in 2 starts and progressive.
Fascinating runner, isn't she? 2 from 2. She's rated 88. Both the wins have been at 7. She gets that. It was good ground last time. It probably was good ground, so it's a little bit softer. But she's going the right way and she's won well and she's likely to be ridden prominently.
Behind her is number 6, and that's Althea, who was much improved when winning at Carlisle last time.
Yeah, I thought there's plenty of encouragement in her for the step up to 7 furlongs. I thought she was a possible improver. She did improve first or second run. She won in ready style. She's stepping up from 5 furlongs to 7 furlongs. It might help.
I tend to agree with that as well, and we know that she handles some cut in the ground. And then finally we have So High Society. We've mentioned that race won by Dance Diva, the Empress listed event on Newmarket's July course. Well, So High Society, of the horses that Ria posed, did best, went 3rd.
Yeah, I think you could argue she sets the standard. 5 of these have got a rating. She's the highest with 92. She's won on soft ground at Chepstow. I think the 7 furlongs will suit her. There's every encouragement both on the way she ran last time and her pedigree to think 7 furlongs will be well within her compass at the very least. I thought she had a solid chance.
Last time? Duchess of Cambridge?
Yeah, it was again, it was a decent race. I didn't think she was quick enough. I think she's persuaded me then that maybe she needs to step up in trip.
She, as many of the others, are out on the walkway and heading out onto the track. So those are all of the runners, all 10 of them, for this listed event.
Yes, this listed race, titled the Longines Irish Champions Weekend EBF Stallions Star Stakes. 7 furlongs the distance and a first prize of just over £17,000. Full list of runners and riders as follows. 1, Bilston Brook, Sean Levy. 2 is Campion, Tom Marquand. 3, Cape Bunting, William Buick. 4 is Capamento, Richard Kingscott. 5, Elizabeth Bennett, Franny Norton. 6 is Althea, Clifford Lee. 7, Royal Parks, Martin Harley. 8, So High Society, Martin Dwyer. 9, Tejanus, Jim Crowley. 10, White Fountain Fairy, Oisin Murphy. Kate Bunting is the 11-4 favourite to retain her unbeaten record. Bilston Brook is 3-1. So High Society 8-1. Same price to Janus. Elizabeth Bennett is 12-1. 14-1 Capamento. Althea, White Fountain Fairy. 16th Royal Parks. And Campion is 50-1.
Handlers, couple blowing pretty hard there, but they've got her in, I think. Gate clicks shut, handler moves away. That's it. Feature race all set, Star Stakes, and they're off and racing. Bilston Brook is out smartly, also Elizabeth Bennett and Cape Bunting. Crossing behind the field, White Fountain Fairy. Royal Parks adopts a handy position as well. So as we head through the first furlong, it is Royal Parks in white and red, Cape Bunting trying to cross from out wider, and Elizabeth Bennett also moving forward. They are the front trio from Bilston Brook, So High Society and Targinus. Capamentos on the outside of Althea, White Fountain Fairy, and last of all is Campion. So making the turn, and Kate Bunting out on the front end from Elizabeth Bennett in second place. Bilston Brook with a white stripe on the face, red sleeves on the outside of Royal Parks. Then So High Society and Taginus. A couple of lengths back to Althea, who's on the inside of Capamento. White Fountain Fairy in blue and white, and Campion in white and blue. So Kate Bunting on the outside of Elizabeth Bennett as they make their way up the home straight. Bilston Brook and So High Society come next with Royal Parks as 2.5 furlongs to travel. Kate Bunting out on the front end. Elizabeth Bennett on the rails. Bilston Brook moves up smoothly with So High Society, then Royal Parks. Targinus comes next behind these Capamento. Bilston Brook takes over. Kate Bunting trying to fight back. Elizabeth Bennett fades away as Targinus and So High Society. Capamento, and from the back, White Fountain Fairy. Bilston Brook out in front. Kate Bunting now beaten off. Targinus and So High Society. Capamento down the outside. Bilston Brook out in front, 100 yards to last. Targinus breaks cover in the blue and white. Down the outside, staying on his Capamento. Capamento, Taginus coming, and Taginus maybe in the centre. A bob of the head. Taginus and Capamento swamped Bilston Brook. It's between the first two named. Then back in fourth place, White Fountain Fairy and So High Society. Close.
Photo finish has been called by the judge. Again, I tend to agree with Richard. I thought that Tajanus had just got there for Jim Crowley and Richard Hannon. Changing fortunes for Richard Hannon inside the final furlong. It looked as though Bilston Brook might be getting the race, but she just started to paddle inside that final furlong. She's third for Sean Levy and Richard Hannon. Capamento is the one that lay down a really telling challenge in the closing stages. I still think that Tajanis has held on, but Capamento has really got her head down at the right moment, hasn't she? Richard Kingscote for Tom Dascombe, and in third Bilston Brook, and a gap back to the fourth. A good race for the Star Stakes.
Here is the result of the photo finish for first place. The first place horse, number 9, Tajanis.
Tajanis, or Tajanis, depending on what you prefer, has won the Star Stakes for Jim Crowley and Richard Hannon, initiating a 1-3 for Richard Hannon. Second, Capamento, third, Bilston Brook, and those three clear. The winner returned at 8-1, and she has taken a nice step forward here.
And stamina clearly was the key, because she has travelled well into the race, but she hit a sort of flattish spot between the 2 pole and the 1 pole. Well, not terrible, but she didn't pick up immediately, and then she's really stayed on in the final couple of 100 yards. She's reversed the form with So High Society, who's run really well in fourth. Has come there with every chance, and I think she's run her race. I think we learned plenty about a lot of horses here. I think it's an absolutely excellent run from the once raced Capamento. This is a huge step forward.
We just need to take a look at the head-on, because So High Society really does get quite squeezed out, seemingly from the side on, inside those closing stages. Here is the head-on. So High Society, the horse that you need to take a look at, is in the red colours with the white spots and the black cap. She's on the outside at this point. Bilston Brook, the third in the red sleeves next to her, is the eventual third. Between them and behind them is the winner in the Sheikh Hamdan Al Maktoum colours of blue and white. That's Tajanis. And Capamento is on the right-hand side now in the navy and the red. Let's just see what happens to So High Society in the closing stages. She's between those horses with plenty of room at the moment, but perhaps just wandering a little bit around. Tajanis is edging to her left, Capamento edging to her right, and she does get squeezed out. I feel she was getting the worst of it at the time.
Definitely, and originally she's caused her own trouble really. For about a furlong, you'll see now, I think she's coming to win the race. From about a furlong and a half out till half a furlong out, she rolls around left and right, and in the end she gets squeezed up late on by horses passing her. She was fourth best on merit. She might have been half a length closer, but I've no question in my mind about that. I think Bilston Brooks travelled like a dream, and I did think probably going to win the way it travelled through the race. Again, it was reminiscent of Kempton, then hit the front in a straightforward fashion. She's run a great race, but she just got outstayed, and the winner and the second are clearly strong stayers at this trip. Well beaten.
I hadn't picked up White Fountain Fairy first time around, but you're absolutely right. She has really stayed on nicely, and that's a promising first start for Andrew Balding.
And she was very much ridden to see if she got the trip, how it looked, because she was, right at the back of the field, was disputing last place. She's seen the race off really well. They'd be most encouraged, I think, at that as a first run. And I think the form, the ratings are very early with 2-year-olds, but the highest rated of them was the fourth, and I think she's probably run her race.
Just going to briefly stop Jim Crowley again. A double for him. Congratulations. Talk me through that, Jim.
No, everything went smoothly. Had a nice position. She travelled very well. She was a little bit unlucky last time at Newmarket, but it was 6 furlongs, and she's appreciated going up in trip. That's helped her. And obviously the slow ground helped her as well. And like I said, it was tight towards the finish there, but I always felt that we'd won. And, fair play to her. She tries hard. And sometimes with fillies, they can just keep on improving.
Yeah, she certainly is. As you say, that final rising furlong has really been the making of her.
Yeah, she needed every yard of the trip today, and obviously the rising ground's helped, and hopefully she can come on again.
Might she get a mile this season?
It's quite possible. Yeah, it's quite possible. She's got a very relaxed way of going about her, and like I said, she needed every yard of that trip there.
And do you think she can go higher, fly higher than listed class?
Well, you definitely have to take your chance now, and like you say, she's won a listed race, so she's be nice to get a bit of group place with her.
Okay, well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Jim Crowley, continuing his excellent form, rides Tajanis to win at 8-1 for Richard Hannon, and Hamdan Al Maktoum, the trainer, also in scintillating form over the last couple of days. Capamento was second at 14-1. Bilston Brook, a good effort from the 5-2 joint favourite, back in third. A nose and a neck separating the front three. Have a look at the winning time. 7 furlongs the distance, and 1:30.7.